KSAT 12. The Nightbeat starts right now.
San Antonio leaders were supposed to consider a move that would fine people for abandoning animals, but then that was taken off the council agenda. We're going to take a look at what that proposal was and what it meant for the city. Also, 2 months since the deadly Hill Country floods, San Antonio teens are now using artificial intelligence, hoping to save lives in the event of another weather disaster. We start here at the top. In 1 week, there were 2 instances where men tried to get teenage girls into their cars, and both times happened less than 1 mile from Clemens High School over in Schertz. The night team Zaria Oates went to Schertz to speak with neighbors and the police chief.
Schertz police are investigating 2 separate incidents within 3 days, less than a mile from Clemens High School.
I mean, it's definitely scary.
Both involved teenage girls, so I sat down with Schertz Police Chief James Lowry about student safety.
We still need to find out any additional information we can to help us identify the suspect.
On September 1st, at the corner of Westchester Drive and Curtis Avenue, a 13-year-old reported that a man asked her to get into his black Honda Civic, but she ignored him. Went home and told her parents what happened. The girl described the man as white with blonde hair, wearing a black tank top.
So if anybody has video from their Ring cameras, from their alarm systems, anything that we can get that would assist us in identifying this person.
A similar incident just 2 days later on September 3rd. A 16-year-old girl reported a man asking her to do something sexual with him. She described him as white or Hispanic, black flat hair, glasses, and possibly driving a Honda. Schertz PD says the incidents don't seem to be related, but neighbors want these cases closed immediately.
It's wild. Like, this has always been such a safe place, and it's just we hear more and more different things happening.
What happens next?
We're going to deploy as many officers as possible.
An increased presence noticeable just 1 day after the latest incident.
I feel more relieved so they can keep an eye to see who it is.
Police are doing what they can to find the suspects, but in the meantime, they have a message for parents.
Have the difficult conversations with your kids. Be aware of your surroundings at all times.
You have to teach your kids safety and just be alert and always tell your parents if something bad happens.
If you have any information about either incident, contact the Schertz Police Department at 210-619-1200. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Investigators in Schertz are pretty busy because they're also looking for another suspect in an attempted kidnapping, and that happened on FM 78 near Schertz Parkway. That happened back in July. Now tonight, we're also learning more about the case of a Universal City mother who was charged with capital murder in the death of her own son. So the woman that you're looking at is 50-year-old Wilma Jamitza Medina. And according to an arrest affidavit, her husband, who's also a police officer in China Grove, he came home from work early yesterday morning and heard screaming coming from the bedroom. And after he broke down the door, he found Medina holding their son before she began to stab herself. According to the paperwork, he then called 911 and restrained Medina. And investigators say that when she was at the hospital, she claimed that she was being followed by people with flashlights on her roof. The 9-year-old boy, David Ihanair Medina, was pronounced dead at the hospital. Court records show that he had suffered multiple stab wounds on both sides of his neck. Wilma Medina is now charged with capital murder of a person under 10 years old. She's now booked at the Bexar County Jail on a $600,000 bond. We want to take this opportunity to remind you that if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please get help. Scan the QR code on your screen. That will direct you to a list of free resources. Tragic situation over at a Northeast ISD high school this morning. The district is saying that a teacher from MacArthur High School passed away after suffering a medical emergency at the very start of the school day. MacArthur's principal sent families a letter letting them know what happened. The medical examiner's office has identified that teacher as 65-year-old Timothy Kitterman. And according to MacArthur's website, Kitterman was an American Sign Language teacher. He had also been named Teacher of the Year back in 2019. First responders tried to save his life when they got to the campus, but obviously they were unsuccessful. The school district says that it's going to send its crisis intervention team to the high school campus to help anybody who needs support. New on the Nightbeat tonight, maintenance records are showing that Robb Elementary School in Uvalde had door problems long before the tragic shooting, and that's according to an exclusive report by CNN. A work order from April of 2022, exactly 1 month before the shooting, reported that the west door in the building was not closing properly. And that's the same door that the gunman had used to enter that school on May 24th of 2022. To be clear, though, Uvalde CISD has released more than 28,000 pages of documents, but that very information that we told you just now, it wasn't released at one time. It took several times to get all of the information. The thing is that those documents don't include records about door locks or even some police communications. Teachers at the district said that for years they had been warning about doors that don't lock. Families of the victims and also survivors are frustrated by this. They're saying that it's hard for them to heal when the release of information has been delayed. So in the last 24 hours, KSAT has been emailing Uvalde CISD. We emailed them twice, as a matter of fact, and we asked them whether the district failed to release all of the records related to the shooting. No response yet. Next Monday, the Uvalde CISD School Board is going to have an emergency meeting. They're supposed to discuss legal issues and the release of more records. And of course, we will be there for that meeting. 2 weeks after Edgewood ISD police arrested Maribel Gardea at a school board meeting, new records obtained by KSAT show that police are saying that she had resisted arrest. You remember this story. Gardea had been speaking about student safety during the public comment portion of a meeting when she went over her time. Police say that she had refused to leave the podium. Officers were then told to escort her out, and police say that when they tried to put her in handcuffs, she resisted. If you remember, Gardea had been charged with disrupting the meeting, trespassing, and also resisting arrest. But then days later, all of those charges were dropped. Edgewood ISD police are also saying that there's no body camera footage, but bystander video shows officers at that scene wearing what appears to be a body camera and a radio. KSAT Investigates asked the district for clarification as to what happened, but we haven't heard back. Switching gears now, let's take you outside and just get you ready for maybe what's to come. Possible rain chances, Adam?
Yeah, we have some rain chances as we get into the weekend, the kind of situation where not everybody's going to get hit, and it's not going to come all at once. It's going to be hitting here at one point, there at another point, and just scattered across the area. Dry tomorrow. Once we get into Saturday, 30 to 40% chance. So some isolated to scattered coverage of rainfall. And then Sunday night into Monday, about 50 to 60%. So that's about half to slightly more than half of south central Texas getting in on some of the action. So there you go. If it was everybody, we'd have it up to about 90, 100%, but it's not going to be everybody. The thing is, though, we should have some pockets of heavy rainfall, partially because of the remnants of Tropical Storm Lorena. This is really getting ripped apart right now. It's sheared apart. But notice it's already throwing clouds and upper level moisture into West Texas. It's going to continue to do that. It's going to help saturate the atmosphere into the weekend, and that will lead to what should become some areas of really heavy rainfall in a short amount of time. We'll talk more about the flash flood potential and how much rain we could get in just a bit.
Obviously something people here are concerned about. Thank you so much for that, Adam. In other news now, Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones refused to comment today after a source said that she removed a proposal from the council agenda. And that proposal was aimed at adding fines for people who abandon pets and other animals. The City Hall insider said that it was pulled because it was based on an old request from the last council. Right now, we don't know when that proposal could pop up again. However, the night team's Garrett Berger looked at that measure and also shows us what was in it.
So I have Zebra and you have Papermate, and they are about 8 weeks old, little Chihuahua mixes.
2 of 6 puppies left in a box at a donation station in the Animal Defense League's parking lot. Even at a shelter, people abandoning animals is a problem.
They could have just easily crawled out and been walking around the parking lot and possibly, gone on to Nacogdoches.
But now, a proposal to fine people caught doing it, ranging from $500 to $2,000. And that's per animal.
Whether that be in a parking lot, bus stop, it didn't matter. You can't abandon any animal here in San Antonio.
That means not just cats and dogs. They could be the pony found tied up in a baseball field, the fish left in an apartment, even a peacock, the animal that's actually partially responsible for these proposed fines.
We had some instances where people were trapping and relocating the peafowl to other locations.
Peafowl roam Glen Oaks and Dream Hill estates on the northwest side. Last year, the councilwoman for the area, Marina Alderete-Cavito, suggested making San Antonio a bird sanctuary where unlicensed people could be fined for relocating birds.
What we ended up doing was approaching the councilwoman and saying, let's not just make this about peafowl, we can actually address abandonment for all animals.
Abandoning animals is already against state law.
That's always been there. Again, but enforcing it whenever the animal, harm hasn't came to the animal can be tough.
And Gary said it's kind of uncommon for a city of this size to not have an abandonment ordinance.
You might unwittingly find yourself trapped in this ordinance too. If you're live trapping pests, you can't just relocate and let them go. The ACS recommends you contact a licensed professional or wildlife rescue and rehabilitation to help you with that part. Well, the director says officers are going to use their discretion.
Back at the Animal Defense League, they hope the fines make a difference, and they'll find fewer or no more animals simply left on their doorstep.
The more that we can step up as a community and help out all of these animals, the better I think in the long run animal welfare will be here in San Antonio.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Stay right there. Can San Antonio stop a project that critics fear will contaminate the city's drinking water? Well, we asked that question to former Mayor Ron Nirenberg, and his answer was very clear. Also, you're going to see how San Antonio students are using artificial intelligence to save lives in the event of a future flood. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today marks 2 months since the deadly Hill Country floods, and since that tragedy, you have been seeing communities along the Guadalupe River trying to find a way forward. The Night Team's Avery Everett now shows us how a team of San Antonio teenagers are now joining that conversation. They're using artificial intelligence to develop a new flood warning system.
High schooler Angela Jung isn't playing a video game. She's actually operating a robot. Sorting blocks is just the start, as her robotics team here in San Antonio is focused on building something bigger.
This is the camera.
The techno wizards are trying to develop an early warning flood detection system using artificial intelligence.
I decided to maybe take my past projects and turn them into something that can be used for this situation.
8th, 9th, and 10th graders are working with college students to build this program.
It's a deep learning model.
Using photos from past floods, this system is learning to detect rising waters. These cameras would be placed in areas of high risk. They would capture live images like this, and then would alert nearby residents once dangerous river levels are reached.
Help is on the way.
This design is still in its early stages, but until their model is done, these teenagers have found another way to use AI. They've programmed block code to embroider t-shirts, and they're donating what they make to families in need.
We might not be able to go volunteer, so we thought, why not make t-shirts and sell them as a fundraiser?
The Techno Wizards have teamed up with the Federation of Korean Associations and San Antonio's Community Alliance for Traffic Safety. So far, the Federation has raised $6,000 to fund the development of a warning system.
We're one storm away from another disaster.
In the aftermath of Texas's deadliest floods, these teenagers are trying to find a way to help. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
I can't wait to see what else they come up with. They're doing a great job. So this is a question that many of you have been asking, and that is whether San Antonio or even Bexar County can stop a controversial development. People have been asking that question over proposed development near Helotes. We've been telling you about Guajolote Ranch. The home builder, Lunar, wants to build 3,000 homes and on that property and a wastewater plant to treat raw sewage. And that last part, that's the controversial part, because people are afraid that that plant is going to contaminate San Antonio's main water supply. Our Sarah Acosta spoke with former San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg, who says that the city can stop the plan, and he's not mincing words about the project.
I say hell no.
Clear answer, right? Former Mayor Nirenberg says that the city and county can stop it by not approving the project as a public improvement district. If the county or city don't sign off, the developer can appeal at the state level, but then that could take several years.
If there is a action that is being requested that would harm the constituents of an elected official, that elected official has an obligation not to go along with it or to support it.
In addition to that, if the public improvement district with Bexar County is approved, property owners would then have to pay extra taxes for any local improvements. Of course, we'll keep you posted on this. It's still a long issue here that we've been covering for a while.
And it's a serious issue, but I have to be a little less serious. You got to look at the former mayor now, grown out a little beard now that he's not in office. Didn't see that tattoo on his arm while he was in office. And obviously, mayors who lift, the gun show he had going there. I always tell people, our mayor can outbench your mayor.
Our former mayor.
Our former mayor,
yes,
you're right,
yes.
right?
moving on now. Adam. All right,
Just saying.
So we're talking about rain chances, and I would say this is a good opportunity to remind people to download the KSAT Weather Authority app because we're in for something this week.
The best thing about that is the notifications straight from us, and then when we're on live, you can have us on your device or stream it on the TV or whatever, on the go even. So let's just revisit the rain chances again. We're at 0% tomorrow, but 30% Saturday night, 50 to 60% from Sunday through Sunday night, even on into Monday. And that basically means half to just over half of South Central Texas. Basically, the area you're looking at here should get in on some rain at some point in that time frame. Now, on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being no chance of flash flooding, and 5 being, oh yeah, it's a guarantee, we're at about a 1 to 2 in terms of the possibility of flash flooding. So we're on the scale, but it's not that extreme high end. Timing, late Sunday to Monday. The amounts are going to vary significantly. There will be some parts of our area, South Central Texas, that get barely a quarter of an inch, whereas others, even just 5, 10, 15 miles away, could get a bullseye of 5 inches or more. It's the rain lottery. The impact would be, of course, potential flash flooding, primarily impacting travel on roadways, the low water crossings, the usual situation here in Flash Flood Alley. Tropical Storm Lorena barely hanging on as a tropical storm. It has winds of 45 miles per hour. This was a hurricane, but stronger winds aloft have sheared it. Hurricanes don't like strong winds up above them. They like it nice and calm above them so they can do their thing. Upper level winds have sliced this off, and that's why it's weakening. But the remnant moisture, you see the clouds in white here already being thrown into parts of the desert southwest Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas. Also, some of the cirrus clouds that we had this evening came in from the remnants of Lorena. We had just a few of these high clouds right at sunset come in, which is always the perfect time for the cirrus clouds. You know, I love cirrus at night and in the morning, sunrise, sunset. That gave us this beautiful orange color bouncing off the bottom of those high thin clouds. And that's all thanks to the tropical storm that's in the Pacific. Now, the upper level tropical moisture, we don't get the ground level moisture from these because that gets squeezed out over the mountains of Mexico. We get the ground level moisture from the Gulf. We already have plenty of that. But we're going to add upper level moisture and some rain making energy across parts of Texas, central, south Texas into this upcoming weekend, increasing those rain chances. When it comes to the available moisture in the air, the very saturated air is mostly going to be along the Rio Grande and then along and south of Highway 90. Now, that doesn't mean that in the hill country you couldn't have a few downpours, but I think odds would favor some of the heaviest downpours and maybe most prolonged along and south of Highway 90. So basically San Antonio and southward. Remember, we need the rain. West Texas and right here in our neck of the woods, that's where we have the worst drought across the state, and 20% of Texas considered in drought. 99 our high temperature today. We dodged triple digits by 1 degree. May have even been a fraction of a degree. 76 this morning, 90 at noon. Not 100 for the high temperature. Some high thin clouds going overhead, and that's about it throughout the day tomorrow. Triple digits, and then we get into the weekend and temperatures start to fall off a little bit just because of the increasing clouds. 96 Saturday, 90 Sunday, and Monday at 87.
Okay, so for those of us who had been hoping for milder weather, here it is. All right, so now we had the boys versus the birds, and that game's a little touch and go, right, because of weather.
Yeah, so they are still in a weather delay, and it looks like they're going to kick off in about 9 minutes, around 10:30 local time. Cowboys, Eagles still in progress, and the first quarter, in particular the first 6 seconds, really saw some wild things go on. And we have some big game coverage games tonight, including Brennan taking on Smithson Valley, coming up. The Philadelphia Eagles broke out their 2024 Super Bowl championship banner tonight before hosting the Dallas Cowboys to kick off the NFL's regular season. Now, 6 seconds into the game, Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter was kicked out of the contest for spitting on Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott during an injury delay. Not pictured because, that's just gross. Boys running back Javonte Williams scored the first touchdown of the new season on a 1-yard run to give the Cowboys a 7-0 lead. Now, the first half went back and forth with the Eagles leading 21-20 at halftime, and the Eagles lead it 24-20 in the third quarter. The game is currently in a weather delay. Dak has passed for 127 yards, no touchdowns and no picks. Javonte Williams has 2 scores for the Cowboys, and Brandon Aubrey has 2 field goals, including a 53-yarder for Dallas. In big game coverage, the Smithson Valley Rangers are playing the Brennan Bears at the Gus tonight. Both teams are ranked in 12's top 12 and looking to stay undefeated. The 5A D1 state champs, well, they got on the board first. Running back Caleb Piegler scores a short touchdown. The Rangers lead at 7-0. Second quarter, first play, Rangers up 7-3 when they strike again. Ty Knutson hits number 4, Hunter Haugen. He's going the distance with that one, 75 yards to the house, avoiding a diving defender near the end of that run. The Smithson Valley Rangers led 14-3 when our Photog left. And this was a great game with Brennan coming back to win 30-21. Let's go to Ferris Stadium now for Sotomayor Wildcats and the Brandeis Broncos, 2 6A teams playing on this Thursday night. First quarter, Broncos ball. The handoff goes to Jerron Morris, and he just refuses to go down, spinning and running and picking up 20 yards. Impressive run by that senior. And that will lead to this 1-yard touchdown run by QB winner Smith, and the Broncos strike first, 7-0. They led 10-zip before the Wildcats finally got on the board. Chauncey Moon throws over the middle to Elijah McAdory, and the Big Cats are down 3. And this one went to triple overtime with the Broncos taking it 48-46. And more scores tonight. You have Bernie beating Laredo United 35-31. South San edging out Harlandale 17-12. Marion 3 better than New Braunfels Long Creek 45-42. You've got Veterans Memorial all over Burbank 51-20. Robstown defeated Edison 27-13, and Uvalde beat Eagle Pass win 50-21. For more scores and highlights, check out the BGC app or the BGC page on KSAT.com. In college football tonight, the Trinity Tigers won at the TLU Bulldogs 26-14 to open their season with a win. UIW and UTSA faced off in women's soccer tonight, and Mary Rominger gets in the way of a sprinkler after the San Antonio's only 2 Division I women's soccer programs, UTSA and Incarnate Word, going head-to-head at Toyota Field for the hometown showdown tonight. First half, 37th minute, UTSA's Zoe May pushes the ball into a perfect spot for freshman Cameron Watson. Watson with beautiful placement for her first career goal. It's 1-0 Roadrunners. UTSA's freshman keeper Breland Mueller had to make some outstanding saves in the second half to preserve the clean sheet as UTSA wins 1-0.
I want to give credit to Polo and Zoe for the assist, because in the end it wouldn't have happened without Zoe shooting the ball and having the courage to do that in the first place. I was just lucky enough to be right there at the right time and be able to finish it off.
Hats off to Cam. She worked her tail off tonight. She did a really good job for us up front and created some chances. I'd like to see her shoot some more because I know she has goals in her, and it's just a matter of them trusting themselves when they get into these attacking positions. And but yeah, happy that it went in, and I was really proud of the chances that we created tonight.
During pregame, Mary Rominger was on the pitch at Toyota Field near UIW taping stuff for her 6 p.m. hit when a rogue sprinkler came out of nowhere to get her. Check it out.
So last year, it was one of the first games that they played, so...
Oh, the life of a TV reporter. Now, the gear is dry and good to go. Shout out to SAFC security guards Chauncey Floyd and Pierre Thompson for helping Mary move her gear quickly. Let's look again in slow motion, because why not, as she cools down a little bit on a hot day.
That's true. That's
right?
true. I'm sure it felt really nice.
Yes, and she did say I could use the video. I got permission.
Okay, all right, awesome. So you're not just being mean.
No,
all
I'm
right.
being playful.
Thank you. We'll be right back.